Where's my water? Well, guess we're dehydrated today. Hey guys, it's Serena, and for today's video I'm going to be filming a video on how I get my dewy glowy skin in the winter time. I wanted to make this video because a lot of people are starting to get drier skin in the winter, especially my skin as well. The wind blowing and whatnot, your skin starts to get flaky, dry, whatever the case may be. So I wanted to show you guys how to look dewy in the winter time without looking like greasy or oily. Before you guys leave this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and click those bell notification buttons to be notified every time I post. Also follow your girl on all her social media sites. They will be linked down below in the down bar as well as the end card of this video. Also follow your girl on her Instagram. You gotta follow girl. She'll be right there. I'll wait. And without further ado, let's just get to see how I created this glowy, dewy skin. Ew. Alright you guys, so the first thing you guys are going to want to start out with for a nice dewy refreshed skin is obviously moisturizer. Now I use a lot of different moisturizers because my skin isn't really sensitive. So if your guys' skin isn't really sensitive, then go ahead and try whichever one you like. But for right now in this video, I'm going to be using this Tarte one. I believe this is the drink of H2O. Yeah, the hydrating boost one. I got a little mini sample for like my birthday gift from Sephora. So yeah, I'm just going to be using this one today. It's very similar to the Neutrogena one, the like Hydra Boost one from Neutrogena and like the blue tube. They have it at like Ulta and stuff. So if you guys don't want to break the bank on Tarte, you can definitely get the Neutrogena one. But yeah, I'm just going to be putting this all over my face to hydrate. Make sure you also put it underneath your eyes. Don't get it in your eye like me. But even if you don't have an eye cream, it's a good trick to put whatever moisturizer you're using underneath your eyes, especially if it's a very hydrating moisturizer like this one and the Neutrogena one, just because it's gonna make your under eyes look a lot more hydrated once you add like concealer and powder and all that stuff, so it won't look as dry when you apply your powder and whatnot. So that's also a good tip if you don't have an eye cream. So that moisturizer left my face like kind of sticky and tacky for makeup. So if you guys don't have a primer, you can always use a moisturizer. If you guys feel like you don't really need a whole bunch of products, just do that. You don't need to be extra. But since I'm extra AF, I'm going to be putting on a primer. This one's actually a primer and a moisturizer. So this is the Photo Finish Primerizer by Smashbox, a primer and moisturizer in one. So yeah, it has hyaluronic acid in it. So girl, you ready? I'm just gonna take like a pump or two on the back of my hand and then put it on my face. Alright, and now for foundation, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Mine's in the shade Mocha. And I'm going to be mixing it with the Glam Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. This one is in the shade Nude Glow. I believe they have two other shades. But yeah, so I'm just going to be taking my foundation and mixing it with the Glow Starter. Also, you guys, if you have any like different dewdrops, the Cover of X, Marc Jacobs, Makeup Revolution, any kind of like dewdrop or like glowy kind of moisturizer, anything of that sort, you can always mix with your foundation. And if you don't want to mix it with your foundation, you can just put it on before, dot it, blend it out, and then apply foundation. But I feel like it's just easier for me to make a little concoction. So I'm going to be mixing these two together and putting them on my face. And I'm gonna blend this in with my Sigma F80 Kabuki brush. Another tip, if you guys do want to have a more fuller coverage application, use a brush. I have a code with Sigma if you guys want to use it, it'll be down below. But if you guys do want a softer application, you guys can use a beauty blender or sponge, whatever. But today I'm going out, so I'm gonna be a full coverage bee. Oh, also you guys, this stuff literally smells like Starburst, like candy. It smells so good. I love it. Alright guys, now onto concealer. I will be taking the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, y'all. This stuff is the truth. It's not as full coverage, but again, this is how to get more of a dewy complexion. You guys could also take like a more full coverage concealer like Tarte Shape Tape first, and then put on like some Naked Skin concealer just to make it a little bit more dewy. But yeah, so I'm going to be using the two shades Medium, Dark, Warm. This is a lighter color as my highlight, and then to darken it, I'm filming Jadis.
Oh.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. This is Jaddy, the one and only. Oh.
As I was saying before my sister rudely interrupted me, my lighter shade is the Medium, Dark, Warm, and then my little bit of a darker shade is a Dark Golden. So I'm just gonna mix the two together. Sorry, you guys. I know I mix a lot of shit together to get my perfect shade, but that's just how I roll. Y'all, and then to set it, I just used my little concoction powder. I took the Fenty powder in the shade Honey, and I mixed it with a little bit of the RCMA No Color powder, just because one was darker, one was lighter, so I just wanted to make a little mixture out of it. So that's a really good idea if you have powders that are either too light or dark for you. Mix them together and you get the best of both worlds. Now, if you are a really oily person, I get oily in my T-zone, so I set my entire like up here, and I do a little bit of setting down here. But if you are more dry, you do not need to set everywhere, especially if you want to look dewy in the winter time. The wind will already dry your ass out, so you don't need to add hella powder everywhere. But for my more oilier people out there, I set my T-zone, and then to make myself look oily, I use like different sprays, liquid highlighters, powder highlighters later on to look more dewy. But make sure you do set yourself all the way when you're oily. Even if it makes you look matte at first, you can change that later, but the initial application needs to be set, period. So now after you apply all of your powders and whatnot, I'm going to take a spray. This is the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. I'm going to spray this all over my face because this one makes me look really dewy, especially after I apply powder. So shake that thing and go ham. Alright, you guys, I'm just going to put on my bronzer off camera because that's pretty standard. You guys know what I use: Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil, and I will be back. Alright guys, now time for blush. I'm going to be taking two of my favorite products from Becca. I'm taking this Becca blush. This one's in the shade Songbird. It's a mineral blush, and it's really like, it has some shimmer in it, not too much, but enough so you guys could tell that it's like shimmery on the cheek. And then I'll be taking this one. This is my trick I like to do when I want more dewy skin. I'm taking this highlighter from Becca in the shade Rose Gold. Now this one would be way too dark to put on my cheekbones because it would leave like a dark gray cast, but this on your cheeks, actual like your cheeks over your blush, would look super good, and over your bronzer if you do it right. Oh my gosh, I have so many little freaking things for my bronzer. Hold please. But yeah, I'm going to be taking the Songbird blush first and then putting this highlighter in Rose Gold over it just to make a nice flush on my cheeks. And you guys can also do this if you have a matte blush and you want it to be shimmery. Just take any highlighter and put it over it. Don't add too much because you don't want to look like you have a shimmer block on your cheek, but just add enough to make it look cute or whatever. I'm just going to take any angled brush and apply. I'm taking the Becca blush first. I tap it on my cheekbones and I blend upwards towards my contour. I have so many little, like, my freaking Morphe brush broke. It was the M528. It broke, but I still use it because, like, again, tapping it on there first, and you see how it gives me like a really pretty shine, like right there. I love that. So I'm gonna do the same to the other side, and you guys can stop right here. You guys don't have to put the shimmery highlighter on, but I'm trying to look really extra today, so that's what we're gonna do. And I also like to take blush on the tip of my nose, my forehead and chin, just because it like flushes my face and it makes me look sun-kissed. Now that that's on, I'm taking the rose gold highlighter from Becca, just dipping into it like twice and tapping off the excess. And this I'm just gonna pat on to my cheekbones. And then just taking a fluffy brush and blending everything out. And ooh, don't even have highlight on, but ooh. All right, my next step is I like to bake. So I'm gonna take that powder I told you guys about earlier that I set my under eyes with and just bake underneath my contour and the sides of my nose just to make them look a little bit more snatched and chiseled. All right, now once I wipe away all that powder, I'm gonna go back into my Mario spray and spray my face once again. Ooh, she real dewy. Ooh. All right, after that step is done, we're going to move on to the most exciting part. The most important part is the highlighter. Now this is gonna either make or break your look depending on how much you add. Don't wanna go too ham with the highlighter. I feel like a lot of people make the mistake of putting on a lot to make them look dewy, but you really only need to put a certain amount in the certain area. So I'm gonna show you guys where I like to put my highlighter and where, like, when I take my pictures and when I stand in the sun, you can really see it reflecting, making my skin look more dewy rather than just like over highlighted, you know? So we're gonna do that today. So usually I use this brush. I have a whole bunch of highlighting brushes. This is just a random one I got from like Claire's when I was like 10 and I've just kept it. But also a one that's really good is the Morphe M510 and also the Sigma Spotlight Duster F37, and a more cheaper alternative, there's like the Wet n Wild one, and also the Tarte highlighting brush. So these are some really good highlighting brushes if you guys are looking for one in the market. I know other ones I've heard of are like from Anastasia and stuff too, but these are the ones that I own. So for highlighter, you guys can basically use anything you guys want. I'm going to show you guys the standard highlighter I use first, and then something I like to apply on top of it to give it that like touch of sparkle. Yeah, feel free to use any highlighter you have. If your skin is already dewy and you feel like you don't need to add more spray onto your brush, you don't need to, but for today I'm just going to add some more Mario spray onto my highlighting brush just to get the most out of the pigment. Then for my highlighter, I'll be taking the Loreal Gilded Honey. It's a super pretty golden shimmery color and it looks good on a lot of skin tones, so I'm going to be putting this one on today. But for whereas to put the highlighter, I like to put mine right on the tops of my cheekbones and blend upward by my temples, and I put a little bit at my apples of my cheeks. As you guys can see, I already have some shimmer there from the blush. So I just like to take it on my brush, tap off the excess, and I start in the very middle just by tapping. Because if you brush it on, sometimes it kind of looks a little bit powdery, but if you tap it into the skin, it starts to look like it's coming from your skin almost. But I tap in the very center, like right underneath my the end of where my eyeball is. So I tap right there on your cheekbones, and then I just start to blend it up into my temples, just so it doesn't look like a harsh streak. So I blend it up to my temples, and then I take a little bit more and tap it right where I smile. So it's kind of like a faded look. So I put a little bit right there, most of it's right in the center right there, and the rest just goes right on my temple to blend. So that's a good tip of how to do your highlight. I know it takes a while, but once you get used to it, you're just like, and call it a day, sis. So yeah, that's how I do my highlight for my cheekbones. And then what I do is I take a little bit more and I put it right above my eyebrow, so right on that arch. I like to do this so also when I take pictures and I'm like this or something, you can see it right there. I don't like to put any in the middle of my forehead just because I get oily there, so I don't want it to be extra shiny, but I don't get oily on my temples. So, or not my temples, the top of my, or kind of my temple, the top of my brow. So I like to put some there, and this one you can just brush on since it's above your eyebrow. So put some there if you'd like. And then I also put some on my Cupid's bow, just right on my lip. I don't like to do the little two lines because I'm not trying to show my mustache to the whole world, so top lip it is. And then I put a tiny bit. I feel like my chin is already big enough. If you have a smaller chin, this would work great on you, but for pictures I just do it. I don't usually do this trick on a normal, but I just take a little bit like on my chin just for photos. If I'm not doing anything special, I don't put any there, but it does look good for pictures. So yeah, I'm just gonna repeat the same step on the other side, and then I will show you guys how I highlight my nose. Make sure you guys also blend it out all the way so you don't have any harsh lines. And as for my nose, I take a very small brush. This one's just from BH Cosmetics in the Studio Pro brush kit. Taking the same highlighter, and I put a little bit on the tip of my nose. Blend out with my finger, and then a good trick to do is put it right at the top of your nose and just blend it, because right here is where the sun hits as well. It's right in the middle of your face. So I put a little bit right there. I don't make a line all the way down because I don't want it to look like a streak of highlighter, so I just take it and end it about right there. And there you have it. I also put some in my inner corners and my brow bone, but I'm gonna do that at the end once I have like my lashes on and everything. But that's pretty standard. You guys should know how to do inner corner and brow bone. But yeah, that's it for this highlight. We on to the next one now. All right, so now for my next highlight, y'all. This shit is a game changer, like game changer, sis. So this one is the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats highlighter, y'all. This is like a putty highlighter, so it's not like powdery. It's a very soft consistency. It reminds me of the ColourPop eyeshadows. So yeah, this is the truth. I'm just going to be taking this. It's best if used on your finger, so I just rub my finger in it and tap it onto all the places I want to apply it. It's better used with your finger. A brush is a little bit kind of messier, I feel like, and it's more chunky, but if you use your finger, it glides on really nicely. So I'm just going to be applying this the same way I applied the Gilded Honey highlighter, except with my finger. So I'll show you guys how I do it. I'm just going to rub my finger into the highlighter, and then I'm just going to be tapping it, so you can instantly see how much it changes it. And once you tap it, you're also going to want to blend it so you don't have any harsh lines. So tap it first. I'm putting the most product in the center of my highlighter and then blending the rest upward. This just gave it like that holographic look. If you guys do not like holographic highlighters, you're not a big fan of super shimmery things on your cheeks, you can skip this part. I just really like this because in pictures it looks very iridescent and just beautiful. So taking this, putting it on top, and then I'm taking my blending brush and really blending that in so it doesn't look harsh. I feel like this is the highlighter that really makes you look super dewy and just snatched. Alright, y'all, and the finishing touch to this face look is obviously setting spray. I like to use the Morphe setting spray because it does make me look like dewy, like satin finish, and it also makes your makeup last a long time. So I'm just going to take this baby and set my entire face. Alright, y'all, now I just need to finish up my lashes and lower lash line and stuff, but you know, that is not about this video. It's how to get dewy skin, not how to get lashes and eyeliner. So I will be right back with you guys for the outro once my look is complete. Alright, you guys, so I finished up my eyes. I just added like some liner, mascara, all that jazz, and I just put on a brown lip liner, lightly lined my lips, and then the finishing touch to a dewy complexion, I feel like, is your lips also, because if you wear a matte lip and you have like really dewy skin, it's like, okay, her skin's dewy, whatever. But if you got a glossy lip, sis, if you got a glossy lip, you got it in the bag. So I would recommend, if you're trying to look really dewy, to wear a glossy lip. So the two options that I like, I have a drugstore and a high-end one. The high-end one is from Fenty Beauty. It's the Gloss Bomb in Diamond Milk. This stuff is the truth. It's so good, and it will match your highlight. So I love this one. And then a more drugstore alternative is the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Few. It's a really pretty, like, goldy kind of color. It looks yellow on camera, but I promise you, if you guys swatch it in the store, it's not. It's like a really iridescent, pretty, sparkly color. So I'm just gonna put on the probably the Fenty Beauty one just so it can match, and then I'll put a little bit of this one on top. So Fenty first. Y'all, the Fenty glosses smell so good. Oh my gosh. Then one last round of setting spray and the look is complete, hoes. Alright you guys, this is the end of the video on how I get my dewy skin in the winter time. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I tried to make it as informative as possible, so I'm sure it helps somebody. Before you guys finish watching this video, or before you guys leave this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and click that bell notification button to be notified every time your girl posts a new video. Also follow your girl on all her social media sites. They will be linked down below in the down bar as well as the end card of this video. And also follow your girl on Instagram, y'all. We there. I love you all so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye guys. Oh shit, I thought I saw a spider. All my chains got diamond in it. My account got commas in it. Damn daddy, you fine as hell. I hope you all got condoms in it. Gave it to him so good that his eyes rolled back. Shorty said it's all hers while her thighs don't match. Girls need love too.
Face down, ass up. I got perfect posture.